Back. So good to see you today. We're talking about the life changing magic of 90 days. You've probably heard me talk about this before. This is one of my favorite topics. I came to love, well, first of all, let me just say that um, I have always been a girl who loves a fresh start. I've always been a girl who loves January 1st. My birthday's in January. I love January. I love the new year. But I read a book several years ago. I was on my way to Salt Lake City. I read this book on the plane. It was called The 12-Week Year. After I read that book, I started, instead of doing like setting yearly goals and running my life kind of by that, I started doing everything in 90-day cycles. And then when I set my coaching program up, I set it up in 90-day cycles as well. So I am a girl who loves me some 90-day cycles because I have seen the power of that in my own life and in the clients that I coach. You guys, you can change everything in 90 days. 90 days is a magical number. And I am going to show you kind of how I plan for 90 days. I have my planners here. We're going to walk through the process that I go through to make a plan for 90 days. And listen, we are coming up on the last 90 days of the year. That is so fun to me because if there's anything that I love more than a fresh start in the new year is getting a jump on the fresh start 90 days before the new year. And I feel like I've been doing this for the last several years. And I feel like when you do this and you kind of get a jump start, if you will, it sets you up for the most incredible year. So tell me in the chat, just say yes in the chat if you're like, I want to be set up for the most amazing 2024. Who's ready? Who's ready to like make such massive change in your life that you don't even recognize yourself in 90 days? Like that is the kind of change that I am talking about that is possible for you if you go all in on this. I see some yeses. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sandra. So good to see you guys. So, we're kind of going to walk through the way that I do it, but I also want to share with you some personal stories from me about things that I have done in 90 days. So, if you could change anything about your current life, just put the main topic. Would it be something health related, finance related, job related, relationship related, house related? Just tell me the main topic. That will help me kind of, as I'm giving you examples. Yes, I need to change now and into 2024. I love it. So good. Business, finances, business, health, relationship. Stacy says all of the things. I know lots of us feel that way too. All of them. Yes. So here's what I find, and this is what I teach in my program, is that especially when you need to make changes in a lot of different areas, go all in on one, and then it will begin to have like domino effects. So when you try to do like 12 different things at one time, you're not going to get to where you want to go. But let's say you go all in on your health for the next 90 days. I just want you, because that's what I'm going all in on. I'm going to tell you about my own personal goals for the next 90 days. Let's say you go all in on that. I want you to imagine what your life will look like after a series of these 90 days. Now, I've been doing this for probably 5 or 6 years. And you guys, the things that I have done in 90 days will astound you. And this can be true for you too. So I first want to like help you get some buy-in on what is actually possible in 90 days. And then I'm going to show you how I go about thinking about what I want to choose for a goal, maybe what you would want to choose for a focus or a goal. And listen, don't even worry if you don't like the word goal. Some people just don't like the word goal. That's okay. Whatever your focus is going to be for the next 90 days. Now, most people don't live like this, y'all. Most people don't live with any focus, which is why most people don't create what they want to create in their lives. So whether you like the word goal or whatever, I just want you to think about, oh, this is the vehicle with which I create a life that I so love. So, when I first started doing this, the first goal that I set was a money goal. So I saw lots of you have a finance goal or that's the area that you want to work on. I saved $5,000 in 90 days. You guys, that felt like $1,000,000 to me. I was so darn proud of myself. And what I did during that 90 days, I read a couple of financial books. I started listening to a business podcast. I started like getting rid of extra clutter and selling things and saving money. And that 90 days, I can't even tell you the compound effect of what I learned and how I grew in that 90 days where I focused on money. I'm still reaping the benefits of that. I read a book back then called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and I started setting money goals. Like I started going, okay, I want to have this much in my savings account. Okay, I want to create this much in my business or whatever. It changed everything about my relationship to money. Like it was so incredible to me. Just from that one 90-day goal has had so many repercussions. I have set health goals. I lost 10 pounds in 190 days. Now, I want you to think about, because this is actually my goal this 90 days is a health goal. And I want you to think about if you set a health goal and say it was like, I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to lose 12 pounds or whatever. I want you to think about, and what I recommend is that with whatever goal you set, you just set your environment up to help you out. So you read books, you listen to podcasts, you surround yourself with people and environments that help you reach that goal. I just want you to imagine after doing that for 90 days, how you will have grown in that area. It's not just like, oh, I lost the 10 pounds, but who you are becoming and how much more knowledgeable you are in that area and how much more motivated you are to keep going in that area. And so you might think, well, it doesn't really matter that much, 10 pounds. Maybe not, but that could be the domino that really helps you create so much health for yourself. So I've done that one. Oh shoot, I lost my notes. I was just looking at all the things that I've done in 90 days. Oh, you guys, I wrote a book in 90 days. This was back in 2018. I hired a book coach because after I had read or written my memoir, I wanted to write a book on how I healed from my past and how I started taking responsibility for my life and stopped being a victim to my life. And I just wanted to write that all out. So I hired a book coach to write that out. And in 90 days, I wrote a book. And that book became my coaching program, Life Mentoring School. I turned those 12 chapters into 12 modules, and now I coach women. Many of you are my clients. I love you so much. And now I coach women from that book. Book. I say loosely because I never published it as a book. So the crazy thing is, these 90-day goals, I just want you to think about what happens after you do a series of these goals and the domino effect it has in different parts of your life. Of course, I've done business goals. Listen, I have set some crazy business goals. I have doubled my business every year since it started. And mainly just by setting a business goal that felt impossible, just believing, writing it down every day, all the things that I teach. I'll show you my planner, all the things that our planner teaches you how to do. And like crazy, crazy, insane results when you focus on one thing for 90 days. Now, I have gotten to the point now where I can have more than one goal, but if you're new to this, I just want you to have one focus for the next 90 days. Now, I know you're going to be tempted to set like 3 goals, but I promise you, if you go all in on one, you're going to get there faster. You might meet that goal in 6 weeks. Then you still have another 6 weeks, you guys. So then you could set another one. But I just want you to experience the magic of doing this for 90 days at a time. And there's no better time to do it than now because we're headed into the last 90 days of the year, which how you finish this year will often kind of set the tone for how you start 2024. So I want you to think about this, especially if you have a health or a weight goal, which lots of you do. If you have a health or a weight goal, if let's just say that you don't do this and you don't make that your goal, You're going to go through Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. You're going to get swept up in like the holiday frenzy of the next 3 months. And I would dare say, make whatever situation you're in right now worse. Make your health worse, gain some more weight, so that when you're starting in January, now it's even harder because now it's like 5 more pounds or whatever. So I want you to really think about that. Like, even if it's finances, right? So say you want to work on finances, but you decide like, I'm just going to wait till the first of the year. This is what we always do to ourselves. And when you do that, what happens is, again, you probably get swept up in the holidays, spend more money on Christmas than you meant to, spend more money. And then you end up at the first of the year and you're like, oh, I'm worse off than I was before. Raise your hand. Say yes in the chat if you know I'm right about this. Almost any goal that you can think of is going to be worse in 90 days if you don't address it now. So I hope I have you convinced about the magic of 90 days. In my coaching program, we run our whole program in 90-day cycles. And we do that because I just have seen the power of it. Like what you can do between starting our planners, our like 90-day planners. So this is our planner for this next quarter. She's a beauty, isn't she? This is our planner for the next quarter. And what you can accomplish in your life and how you can change your life from the start of this planner to the end of this planner is insane. Just insane. So I just want to give you some motivation to do it now, not to wait, to just decide like, okay, now is the time. There's never been a better time than now. So I want to share with you a little bit about what I'm going to be working on. How many of you love to hear what other people are working on? People ask me all the time, what's your goal this quarter? I always set goals, you guys. And I've done goals like does anybody who's in my program know what my last 90-day goal was? What was my 90-day goal for the summer? Anybody know? Anybody remember? I wanted to learn how to wake surf. So, you guys, that might seem like, well, that's dumb. No, it's not dumb, because learning how to wake surf has been like in so many ways. I can't even tell you all of the benefits. Now, I do wonder if one of the reasons that I'm working on health goal this time is because I've had this chronic kind of sinusitis that goes to the top of my throat, to the top of my bronchus, and will not go away. And I'm getting all kinds of testing done. It's just so much to go into. So I'm wondering if all the water I took on started this. I don't know. But anyways, yes, and I did do it, Lynn, and it was so fun and such a fun family thing that we could do together. It was so awesome. I've had lots of different 90-day goals. So they don't have to be necessarily so serious. Mine, this 90 days is kind of more along the lines of like what most of you would set, like health goal or weight loss goal or whatever. I think that is a great one because as you get healthier, then you'll have more energy. You'll be more motivated to tackle further goals. So I love a health goal if that's what you're working for. The reason I'm picking that is because I've been dealing with this for several months and the nagging cough, you guys, you know me, I am like the health nut. I have done everything. So I finally had to go like get cultures. I'm getting a CT scan. I got a bunch of blood work. I got to quit dairy. I've got to go completely off sugar. Like I got my blood work and I'm like, oh, my body is in this sort of hyperimmune response right now. So I'm having to make drastic changes. I already ate healthy, but I have to make some pretty drastic changes in my nutrition and with my health stuff. And it is just the priority. Now, I will tell you that when I first went and got all these results, I was so discouraged. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I was discouraged because I'm like, oh my gosh, I already work so hard at this. How can this be something that I'm dealing with? How many of you depending on what your goal is, you're like, how did this happen? How did I get here? How did I get so unhealthy? How did I get in this state where I feel like we're having financial problems? How did we get at this place in our marriage? Like all of these things, right? I just want you to know it's normal to feel that way. I have been struggling the last few days since I got all my blood work back. And I know I have to go off dairy and I know I have to do like a candida diet. Like I'm basically going to be eating red meat and sauerkraut. But I have been reframing it the last few days because here's what I know. I firmly believe that sometimes things happen to us for us. I like to say for us in a certain way that like I have never had trouble with dairy. I never would have gone off dairy. And I can tell you that I think this might be a real unlocking of something for me. I'm just excited about it now. I just reframed it. I just decided like, oh, this has been such a good wake up call for me. I'm really excited about what I'm going to learn about myself going off dairy. I'm really excited about getting this thing fully healed. I'm really excited. I'm switching up my supplement regimen. I am like supplement girl, switching up my supplement regimen, getting some treatments. I'm going to get a glutathione infusion, like all kinds of health stuff, you guys. Like this is the 90 days where I have to really take care of myself. And I have to ask myself, what does my body need? What do I need right now? Because I can be one of those people. And some of you are like this too, where you go and you give and you do, and then you end up like, oh, I better pay more attention. I better, take good care of myself. So, was I really excited to go off of dairy and sugar? No. But I mean, I don't do much sugar, but I do love dairy. And I was doing like Greek yogurt and I was doing cream in my coffee and I was doing raw milk kefir, which I love and was really helping me. And I have to go completely off of that for 2 months. So I just want you to know that I am right there with you. I am always doing these 90-day cycles with you. And I've done them for years and I've made incredible, amazing change and progress in my life. And I never get tired of doing it. I just am like, this is going to be so cool. This is going to be so fun. And if you reframe it like that and you go into it with the mindset of, oh, I can't wait to see what I learn about myself during this process. I can't wait to see. This is going to be fun. And of course, I've already been listening to, and I'll go off and on listening to different podcasts, but I'm back on the health podcast. I'm back on the effects of dairy. I'm just back on all of that so that it's motivating for me while I'm doing this. I'm doing a lot more walking and a little bit less crazy hard workouts. So things that are really going to nourish my body, help my body fully heal from this. She also said no more wake surfing, y'all, until we figure out where this weird bacteria came from. Probably did come from my lake. So I want to say all of that to say that you're not alone and it's such good work to do this. I often also say this, that when you're thinking about goals, the reason most people don't do this is because we're afraid we're going to fail, or we're going to afraid, that, I mean, yeah, I'm already like, how am I going to go without my cream in my coffee in the morning? So we're afraid of that. But here's what I want to tell you. Here's how I want to help you reframe goals. The goal of goals is not the goal. The goal is not necessarily to lose 12 pounds. The goal is, who am I becoming in the process? Can I become someone who takes better care of herself, who eats more intentionally, who has a loving discipline with herself, who can stay connected to herself through hard emotions? Because most of what we want to change, honestly, is because we aren't very good at feeling our emotions and being with ourselves in stressful or hard things. And when we learn how to do that and process our emotions, most of our bad habits go away. So, can I cultivate a relationship with myself? That's what I'm most excited about in the next 90 days. I'm sure I'll get healthier. I'll lose some weight. Whatever. I know all of that will happen. But what I'm most excited about is, what is the relationship I can cultivate with myself so that I can become more resilient, more loving, more nurturing, more wise. And so as I think about it that way, it makes the whole 90 days not feel like a punishment, because that's what we often make it feel like by the way we think about it, but it makes it feel like a gift. This 90 days, what if you framed it this way, you guys? This 90 days is a gift I'm giving myself. And whatever it is that got you here, like, it would be so easy for me to go, why has my body failed me? Why am I feeling this way after I do so much to take such good care of myself? Instead of that, like, what is the gift in this that I can't see yet? And when you start to look at your life and whatever circumstances that you have in that way, it makes you, I'm like, I really genuinely am so excited about the next 90 days. Because often, especially if it's a health goal or a weight goal, we go, well, it's going to be Halloween and then it's going to be Thanksgiving and then it's going to be Christmas. I haven't been thinking about that at all. I'm just like, oh, this is going to be so fun to figure out like where the gift was in this. I'm going to look back on this, I bet, and go, oh my gosh, thank God I had that low grade chronic sinusitis, bronchitis that showed me that my body was really sensitive to dairy and I needed to take a break from dairy. Like, I know there's just going to be so many gifts for me. So when you go into it looking for the gifts, the whole thing feels like an adventure and not like a punishment. So we're not doing this to be mean to ourselves. We're doing this to give a gift to ourselves. And so, what is the gift you can give yourself in the next 90 days? What gift could you most use right now? Well, we could use a little relief from our financial pressure. Well, then how can you give yourself that gift? Like, oh, I really could use a health reset. Then what gift can you give yourself in the next 90 days that just feels like a gift? So, as you do that and as you figure out what your focus is going to be, don't get so hung up on exactly what the 90-day goal is. You can take a day or two, a few days to figure that out. What's the focus going to be? So if you only could pick one, what's it going to be for these 90 days? For me, it's health. Whatever it is for you, you figure it out for you. So as I'm thinking about 90 days at a time, you guys, it feels like a long time, but I promise you, it will be here before you know it. The end of that 90 days will be here. And I am so looking forward to being on the other side of it and going, oh, man, that was incredible. That was an incredible 90-day experience. And so that is the feeling that I generate for myself by how I reframe it, by how I decide to think about it. Now, we have in our, so if you're in my program, I know some of you just joined Life Mentoring School this week. So I'm so excited for this to be your first 90 days with us. But we have everything you need in our planner. You guys, if you haven't joined us yet, you get a free planner at either of our price points for Life Mentoring School. So if you go to ediewadsworthcoaching.com/enroll, you can do the monthly membership, you get a planner. You can do the yearly membership, you get 4 planners. So if you haven't joined us yet, join us. Because listen, one of the things that really helps determine how the 90 days is going to go is who you surround yourself by. Do you expect yourself to lose 10, 12, 20 pounds living in exactly the same environment with exactly the same things coming into your brain, with exactly the same people that you're surrounding yourself by? You have to surround yourself with environments that really nurture the goal that you're after, the focus that you're after. So if you need a community, come do it with us. We do this every quarter. This is our whole program is based on these 90-day cycles. And if you look at the setup of our planner, this brand new planner, which starts October 1st, even talks about each month has kind of a monthly planning. And then there's a 90-day dream goal. We call it our 90-day dream goal right here in the front. And then what you can do to figure out, like, because I know some of you are like, oh, I don't exactly know. What you can use to get yourself started, in the very front of our planner, we have this life wheel assessment where you can give yourself a score. So if you went through the areas of your life and gave yourself a score from 1 to 10, with mental health, how are you doing with mental health? How are you doing in emotional health? And there's a bunch of questions on the back that ask you, Like for mental health, the questions are, I take responsibility for my thoughts and I manage my thoughts well. My thoughts create the results in my life, so I know they're important. Like, how in agreement are you with that statement? Emotional health. I understand the source of my emotions. I am willing to allow and process my emotions. I create the emotions I want. How true is that for you? And then the next topic is growth. I'm always looking for opportunities to learn and grow. Even in adversity, I see the lesson. Where would you rate yourself there? Identity. I believe that I am who God says I am. My identity does not come from my performance or from other people's opinions. Relationships. I have meaningful connections with the people in my life. I know how to love unconditionally. So, with every area of life, health, finances, your physical environment, um, really creating the life that you want, how you contribute your gifts. So, you go through and you complete, based on those questions, you complete the life wheel assessment. Now, you also can just ask yourself, what area of my life needs the most work? And most of the time, you guys, 99% of the time, if you're honest with yourself, you already know the answer. It's the one you're avoiding. It's the one you're like, I need to work on that, but I don't really want to. I mean, I was super resistant to working on health because I feel like I work on that all the time. But do I really? Have I really been prioritizing that in the last few months? Probably not. So back to it. I've done this one several times before, but I've never had exactly this set of circumstances. And so we're back to it. And then after that, you get to this 90-day goal page where you ask yourself, what do I want my goal to be for this 90 days? Now, for me, it's mostly nutritional stuff. So I'm going to be dairy-free, sugar-free for at least 60 days. I have to do this for at least 60 days. And then we're going to recheck my blood work and see how I'm doing. Now, I'm already basically gluten-free. So imagine dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. Oh, you guys. Now, again, I say that as someone who already, feels like I take a lot of supplements, I prioritize sleep, I weight train, I do all the things. But I'm just humbling myself. I'm just going to relearn. I'm going to start listening to a bunch of podcasts. I'm going to surround myself in my ears. I've already got several books. Downloaded onto my Audible so that when I'm doing my extra walking, I can do that. And I just want you to think about for yourself what you want it to be. So for mine, it's this nutritional thing, dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. You ask yourself, what is that? Now, if you're brand new to my program or thinking about joining, one of the things that I tell people to do is just fill out your planner every day. You don't even have to have like a crazy goal. A goal would be, can I get consistent with showing up to my life, consistent with reframing my thoughts, consistent with feeling my emotions, consistent with using my planner. So one of the things that I recommend people do, especially if you're like, gosh, I don't even know where to start, I'm not exactly sure what I would do, I would just say commit to doing the planner every day for 90 days. It will change your life. I promise you, because it asks you to live your life with intention. There are so many prompts in here that ask you to wake up to your life, wake up to the blessings in your life, wake up to what you want to be creating in your life, wake up to the connections you want to make. It's all in here. And if you just did the planner for 90 days, that would be incredible too. So I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to create in the next 90 days? So for me, I want to heal this completely. And in order to do that, there's these steps that I'm taking. Now, I already have made a list about the things that I want to get. So I'm going to Whole Foods tomorrow because I know they have a lot of good dairy-free options for yogurt and, different things like that. So I've already made a list of like, oh, I need to get this. I need to get this. There's a couple of people that I want to talk to who I know have done dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. And so I know that there's a list of things that I want to do. So when I pick my big dreamy goal, that's what it says here on this line, and that's the goal that I've picked, the action steps that I would need to take in order to do that. And so for me, it's a lot, y'all. Like the supplement regimen that my functional doctor has me on, the diet changes I need to make, the extra the way I'm changing a little bit of my workouts, walking a lot more. And so, what it has you do in these boxes is what is the new belief that I need to practice? For me, the new belief that I'm practicing this 90 days is I can't wait to find the gift in this, the gift that will come from this, that will come from these changes. I know there are going to be gifts there. And I'm looking at it as kind of like this is a new adventure. I honestly believe that this may turn a whole new quarter for me. Like I feel like I have done pretty darn well, but I have struggled with some low grade chronic things. And what if this heals it all? What if this is the answer that I've been looking for? What if this makes a difference more than anything else has? Like I'm just on the lookout for where the gift is. The feeling that I want to generate, I want to feel excited. I don't want to feel like this is punishment. I want to feel like this is loving and nurturing to myself and that this is a gift that I give myself. And then it asks for the results that you're wanting. So for me, it's several things, but completely healing this. And then how I will celebrate. I have to say, you guys, how I will celebrate is my worst part of my plan. And I know it's important. I'm terrible at celebrating when I hit goals. I hit goals all the time and I'll just pass right by it. I will like, oh, good, I did that thing, and then move right on to the next thing. So I got to think about that one, how I'm going to celebrate. And then it gives you a chance if you want to add like a secondary goal. I don't think I'm even going to do that right now for myself because honestly, I have been a little overwhelmed by, I feel like all the changes that I need to make and all the supplements that I need to take. It's just a whole lot. So I'm not going to add anything else right now. And I've been doing this a long time. So one focus, especially if you're new, pick one focus. And then let's just say that after 8 weeks, after I make these dietary changes, I go back and I redo my blood work and I redo the x-ray or whatever, and everything's fine, then I can move on to something else. But for now, that's going to be my main focus. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you want to change? I promise you, so much can change in 90 days. And a lot of times in my program, because it is heavy mindset, a lot of times what happens is you change. The way you look at everything changes. And so it feels like everything changes, but I promise you, what will happen after that is so many things will actually change. But you will have been the catalyst for it. And you will have used this sort of 90-day process to get excited about your life again, to step back into your life. How many of you are like, yeah, I have not stepped into my life like I really want to, right? Step back into the game, step back into your life. Decide that you're not just going to keep existing the way you've been existing, that you're going to do this with intention, that you're going to do this next 90 days with intention. Now, a couple of things to watch out for. Are you going to fail in this process? 100%. You're going to set a goal that you're going to lose 10 pounds and you're going to eat on this plan. And then 4 days later, you're going to eat something off the plan. Listen, that's always going to happen. It's not whether that's going to happen, that is going to happen. You just have to decide, what am I going to make that mean? And a lot of times what we make that mean is, I was never meant to do this. I'm never going to make change in this area. You have to be willing to renew your mind and decide. Of course, there was a failure, but here I am back in doing what I want to do to honor my word to myself. So you are going to have failure. The question is, how are you going to respond to yourself in the failure? Are you going to make it mean like, oh, I was never going to be able to do that? Or are you just going to say, well, there was some failure. That means I'm on the right track. Here we go again. So you get to decide with that failure what you make that mean. Now, what you're going to notice is that there's this beautiful, I've watched this happen with so many people when they set these 90-day focuses or 90-day goals, is they get to the end and let's say the goal was, we just had somebody celebrate this in life mentoring school. They get to the end of it and the goal was to lose 12 pounds. And they tell us like, I did it, I lost 12 pounds, but also, and then they tell us 100 other things that got better or that they learned about themselves, or now they're motivated to do this thing because they just did that for themselves. And so I just want you to understand that it's not just about the goal. It's actually only a tiny part about the goal. It's about who you are becoming and the compound effect that will happen in your life because you decided to do this thing with intention, because you decided to show up for yourself in a way that was really powerful. So, that is how I go about thinking about and planning for my 90-day goals. And then, of course, our planners themselves are just so beautifully set up to help you with this. One of the things, like when I'm planning out 90 days, is I will take like my actual things that are on my calendar, like, oh, I'm going to Emmy's college on October 7th, and then I'm having company October 21st. And then I'll just put all of my things like in my actual calendar. So we have these page spreads for your actual calendar. I put all of those in there. And then I just add in anything related to my goals that I want to do, anything that I want to read, or anything that especially if, say it's like a home project. For me, it's like walking extra steps per day. So I've been adding that in. It's the way I'm eating. So I'm adding that in every day. But this whole planner is set up so that you can guarantee your success, so that you have a tool every day that helps you. So I can't wait to hear about what you decide for your 90-day goal. And I can't wait to hear in 90 days. I can't wait until we all celebrate. Like, oh my gosh, you did that thing. I'm so excited about this next 90 days, you guys. Just allow yourself to be excited about it too. Allow yourself to be hopeful about it. Allow yourself to just decide, even if, let me just go through this scenario, because people say this all the time. Like, well, what if I do it for a month and then I give up? I've done that for years. And every time I do it, I just do it a little bit longer and I get a little bit better at it. So I don't make it mean that I wasn't meant to do it. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to just start again. I mean, literally, one of my favorite things to do is start again. And so if you are feeling like, I don't trust myself to do it, you build trust with yourself by doing it a little while and then maybe failing and then coming back to it and then doing it again and doing it again and doing it again. When I was practicing medicine, I back in the day, a lot of people wanted help with either losing weight or quitting smoking. So I helped a ton of people quit smoking and I helped a ton of people lose weight. And what I found, and the research backs this up, is that somebody who successfully quit smoking like 9 times before they quit, or they quit 11 times before they quit. But what happens to us is when we have tried something the 5th time, we go, well, I'm never going to do it. No, you're going to do it on the 9th time. But you got to keep going till the 9th time, or the 11th time, or the 25th time. Instead of making it mean that you're not going to do it, making it mean I'm so much closer to doing it. And that is what I have found true my whole life, is that I just don't give up. I just fail and get up and keep going, and then fail again and keep going. And as long as you don't quit restarting, you'll get there. So I just want to give you that, because I know that we're so hard on ourselves, you guys. And whatever it is that you're working toward, it is possible. So there you have it. I love you so much. I'm so glad you joined today. I can't wait to see what you create for yourself in 90 days. It really is so magical. And again, we have perfectly designed our planners to help you with this. Get in Life Mentoring School. We are starting our new quarter next Tuesday. So next Tuesday, I think that's October 3rd or 4th, we're starting our new quarter. And our topic for October is from past to future you. So if you feel like you're stuck in some version of your past self and you want to move past that and create something in your future that you really want to create, join us. We will do these 90 days together. The teachings each month will help you along the way. You'll have the planner. It really is such a wonderful way to create a framework for a life that you really do love. All right. See you soon, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.